Each week, American History TV's Real America brings you archival films that help provide context for today's public affairs issues.
It sounded like a firecracker. That was all it sounded like. Because I remember thinking, as I closed my eyes, I remember thinking, oh, listen to all these people screaming, and it's nothing but a firecracker. But then, as my eyes opened, you saw nothing but black and smoke everywhere.
It was like a sound from the inside of your body. It's not like you hear it from the outside. It's like it just engulfed the whole entire body. And 17 minutes later is when I woke up. And that's when I realized that the embassy had been hit very, very hard.
The next thing I can remember is a loud bang, and it was like the M80 simulator we use in combat defense training. Very loud. And, of course, by the time I realized what I was hearing, I was flying backwards.
It scared the hell out of me is what it did. You know, because I saw all this blood, and I was worried about my friends that were with me, because I was the one that asked them out that night. And all I could think of was, well, you went and done it now. You're going to die down here instead of back home nice and quiet.
Terrorism. It's a real and personal threat.
What must the folks back home be thinking? That's the question on the mind of every Marine in Lebanon today. Do they know whether I'm alive, or do they think I'm dead? It's an anxiety that plagues them even as they sift through the rubble, trying to find the broken bodies of their buddies. The blast that tore through the battalion landing team headquarters had the force of a one-ton bomb. The crater will be closely examined by FBI forensics experts who arrived this morning. They'll search for some firm evidence of who was behind the disaster.
The suicide bombing in Beirut that took so many U.S. Marine lives was without equal, making news headlines around the world. A vicious, premeditated attack of such magnitude that it changed forever the way this country and many other nations view the threat of terrorism and how to deal with it. But the Beirut massacre also focuses on the individual, on your vulnerability as a single member of the armed forces. It serves to introduce the concept of how personal a terrorist attack can really be.
He could do. He says his man went by. He says he'd always remember that the guy was smiling.
When it's all compiled and we get the names, I think it'll hit everybody harder. But you can tell by actions that it's hurting the people now. They had a lot of friends. Well, we had a lot of friends over at the PLT.
Former Green Beret Brian Jenkins, now one of the country's top experts on terrorism, has spent a lot of time studying the way it feels.
Everyone we have interviewed has always made the point that I knew there was a problem with terrorism. Of course, there was a concern in this particular city where I was, or this particular country. But I always thought that would happen to the other people. That would happen to the other guy.
I think the most important thing is to be aware that it could happen, that the threat is very, very real. You don't have to be in a bombing to recognize and appreciate the fact that terrorism works.
I think we have to try to blend in more with the local populace of that country, wherever it is, whether it's Greece or Germany, and maintain a lower profile. Learn the customs and traditions of the local country so we're aware of how the people in that country react and behave, so when something is out of the ordinary, we can recognize it.
I never thought I'd be a victim, but you never really know. It could happen again tomorrow, just walking down the street.